Mheshimiwa Rais William Ruto, allow me to speak to you the same way we the Kenyan youth used to speak to you during the campaign time. Kwa sababu one of the reasons that made us to elect you is because you would resonate to us on matters economy, matters hustler and how you would save this economy. We saw you as the messiah to this economy. Sioni kama unaenda vizuri kwa sababu unaendelea na zile President Uhuru Kenyatta alifanya na zenye zili destroy the economy of Kenya na zikafanya the Kenyan youth akawa educated, energetic and willing to work, but we don't have that opportunity to work. The loophole of domestic borrowing. In fact, one of your confident, Mheshimiwa Dendi Nyoro, the today's Budget and Appropriation Committee chairman, alisema vizuri sana when he was appearing on an interview kwamba Uhuru Kenyatta aliharibu economy kwa kuomba domestically. That before Uhuru Kenyatta came to power, before the handshake government came to power, he would meet the Kenyan banks on the streets ikijaribu kubembeleza Wakenya wachukue loan, waanzishe biashara and then contribute to the economic development of Kenya. Lakini Dende Nyoro, kulingana na yeye na sio mimi nilimweka maneno kwa mdomo, anasema Uhuru akiingia alianzisha domestic borrowing, so the Kenyan banks started doing business with the government and the Kenyan youth and the Kenyan citizen would not access loans simply because the government was taking all the money from our banks.
We have many banks in Kenya. And allow me to make this point.
Very quickly, 30 seconds.
But if you look at the access of credit between President Kibaki's time and this time, I mean, you don't even need to have an answer. During President Kibaki's time, ningepata mtu wa bank hapa nje ananikojea. Nijaze form anipatie loan. What is the current situation?
I wrote the economic recovery strategy for NAC. If you recall, interest rates came down, banks began to extend credit to everybody because the government was not borrowing. The banks were hawking loans. A Jubilee came and turned it the other way around. It hoovered all the money.
Mheshimiwa Rais, free this economy and stop this domestic borrowing. Just to make you aware, Mr. President, is that, and I know that you know it very well, that baada ya the Kenyan youth kumaliza shule, kuwa educated, after we mature and having these great ideas on how we can improve our economy and how we can contribute to this economy, and after running to the Kenyan companies and the Kenyan environment and lacking any opportunity to have a job and to have any employment, the only place we can run to is the Kenyan banks, secure a loan and start a business that will employ me and empower other Kenyans to be motivated to employ themselves. However, looking at you, Mr. President, looking at your budget, you have a deficit of over 700 billion. Naona you are planning to borrow 586.5 billion from the same economy that you complained Uhuru was borrowing and destroyed the economy. So I can't understand, Mr. President, that when you are campaigning, you had this opinion that domestic borrowing was destroying the economy. And then when you get to the government, you want to borrow 586 billion from this economy, Mr. President. Mind you, you have passed the finance bill, and that finance bill is now an act. It is now a law. You are going to collect more taxes from the same economy that you want to borrow from. Mheshimiwa Rais, sijui nini ilibadilika wakati ulichukua hiyo position, but I would send a request to you as a person who voted for you, as a person who campaigned for you, and as a youth who have a great expectation from your government. Please let us have the money in the economy and let the government enjoy the taxes that we will pay after having that money back to our pocket. Mr. President, hizi 586 billion zenye unataka kuborrow from the Kenyan economy, it is available. You have done your own research and you have projected that this money is available from the economy, and that is why you want to borrow from this Kenyan bank. But Mr. President, if only you take a policy na useme hautaomba this money from this economy, 586 billion will be injected into the economy. And the Kenyan bank will start looking for the Kenyan youth ndio imkopeshe hizo pesa, and that is how you will have provided countless employment opportunities to the Kenyan youth, and countless economic activities to the Kenyan economy, and countless taxes to the Kenyan government. Mr. President, the same way you believed that domestic borrowing was destroying the economy when you are campaigning is the same way we are believing that domestic borrowing that you are planning to do, which you have already started, is destroying our economy. So please, Mr. President, we are not asking you to give us physical money. We are not asking you to give us the resources that the government already has. Please save this economy by refusing to borrow that money from the economy. Let that money be given to the Kenyan youth in form of loans, and let the Kenyan youth start economic activities and wait for the taxes.